unfortunately scamming us. And it kind of like hurt us in a way because in reality, like, you guys got scammed. The way the site was built, it wasn't built to the degree that we needed to be, because obviously the Ace family is one strong ass army. And come to find out, the site wasn't built well at all. So you guys didn't get the value and the quality you guys should have got, and that's why we were upset. And the Ace Club, we put a stop to it. That was like, I don't know, 6 months ago or something like that. And we end up, but so for the website that he finished, ended up being perfect opportunity for me to come in and to use the website as a program that I've been wanting to help you guys all with for the past. You guys to see a different side of me, which is the business side and how we make money and how we grow on social media. And so I'm excited. I'm not sure if you guys can see the energy that I'm giving you guys. How to make money from social media, how to start a business, and how to grow your business. Because like I said, for the past several years, that's all we've been doing. And I feel like I'm very educated in it.
Welcome to the Ace family, aka the Mcbrooms. They're a constantly growing, developing, controversial channel, and every year they're trending on social media for some big controversy that went down because they happen to be really shady with not just foreclosure, not paying their house mortgages, not paying the people who they pay work for, and of course being a, you've heard it, a family channel. Now, for those of you who don't know, I am not a fan of family channels. That's not to say that every family channel on YouTube is necessarily bad, but overall, the majority, I don't like family channels. I feel like shoving a camera into children's face, using your children as a financial compensation tool to financially gain off of thousands of people online, thrusting them into a life that they didn't choose, or rather you're forcing them live, is in my personal opinion just not okay. Exploiting kiddos is really common here on this platform. At the end of the day, who really cares if they can make you millions and millions, right? It's not about them, it's about you. Anywho, before we begin in each controversy that the Ace family has been involved in, special thanks to the amazing sponsor of the channel before, you've heard of them before, Vance Global. Vance Global has a variety of different products to meet your individual needs. They specialize in organic, biodegradable hemp smokes from Delta 8, which gets you litty, and my personal favorite, their CBD, which does not get you litty, but boy, does it really relax you. They're quality and smooth, but most of all, they also have 2 additional products. If smokes aren't your thing, you can get them in edible form. They're Delta 8 gummies. I can't even take 2 of these without it knocking me out. But also, they just released this brand new product of even stronger gummies than the previous. And the best part of all is if you use my discount code Repzion, you're gonna get 20% off all of your orders, but they also ship to all 50 states in America. I use these on the daily, and I really recommend you check them out, use my code, save some money, allow me to help you while supporting the channel in doing so. The Mcbrooms, the Ace family. They have over 15 million subscribers, so when I say this is a very large family channel, that is not an understatement. They vary a large influx of views in between 3-4 million views per video, sometimes even going into 10 to 15 million views per video. Now, I'll be the first one to admit, when you are a creator online, you want to make the most enticing thumbnails. You want people to click on your content. But at what point, at what cost? When you're making things like this. Steele got hurt so bad on camera. Now, obviously, I've blurred his face, but that thumbnail is of a kid with a busted, bloody lip. I take issue when people use their children in the thumbnail in a way that makes them look like they've been hurt. There is absolutely no reason to do this outside of full-on knowing that more people and people will always click and be more curious and watch video with a longer duration if there is a child involved being hurt. And you're putting a child in the thumbnail who A, really isn't consenting, you're forcing them to do that. Ellie woke up with pink eye. We had to rush to the hospital. We had to rush to the ER. Notice how that video has over 10 million views. Did you really put Bob milk in my cereal? I put period jelly on my husband's face. Look, You and I, we want people to click and watch our videos. Obviously, that's why we make videos. Everybody posts videos on the internet, wants people to click and watch them. I don't find putting children, hurt children, in thumbnails as a way to garner people to click or get more views to be appropriate. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people in the comment section who love this channel who are gonna be all upset that I'm criticizing somebody for their thumbnails, and 99.9% of the time, I wouldn't do that. I don't care how people make their thumbnails, I don't care if you make it clickbaity, I don't care if you make it the title, but when you're including children in a way that they don't really consent to be presented in that way, I think it's scummy. Do I really need to remind you guys of this video that I made just a couple months back, where this mother forced her child when he was sobbing and having an emotional breakdown over the loss of a pet?
Come closer for the video, come closer! Come closer! Put your head right here, come closer. Close down, put your head down here. Act like you're crying, really quick.
I am crying.
Go like this.
No, Mom, I'm not just usually crying.
No, I know, but go like this for the video. Go like this, put one hand up, go like this. No, go like this. Put your hand like this. But let them see your mouth. Let them see your mouth.
No, Mom, I'm actually crying.
Look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at me, look at me.
I'm actually crying.
I know, look at me, look at me. Look at the camera, look at the camera. Okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, guys, that happened. Thankfully, that mother is no longer on YouTube and completely yeeted her entire YouTube channel, because nothing says quite like authenticity by forcing your child to cry more when he's actually crying over the loss of a pet that he's in love with. You know, because, you know, that extra teardrop, more people will sympathize and empathize with a grieving child over the loss of a pet. You really have to be shitty to utilize a child in that way. Back in 2000, I think it was 2018 or 2019, there was some controversy about Austin Mcbroom, because you see, on his story on Instagram, he thought it would be a great idea to bring a child. Whether or not this child was his or not, I don't know. I'm gonna blur the face. But he brings this child into a Spencer's store, which is kind of a semi-adult store. It's not like a full-on, you know, adult store, but there's a lot of adult material and items and gadgets and things in that store itself. And I don't really think bringing a 5 or 6-year-old into that type of store is necessarily appropriate, but whatever. He did whatever, you know, is that the little girl sees a very colorful rainbow pickle phallic object and says, I want this.
What'd you say? What are you trying to get to? You love what? Oh, God. You don't need that. Come here. Show Catherine what you have in your hand. Show Catherine. Show her. She said it's a lollipop. Are you really making me buy this lollipop right now? You really want it?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It's gonna be 7.
Please, bro, put that in a bag right now. Keep that in the bag forever. Do not show that to anybody, okay?
Okay.
That's your little secret.
It can be our little secret, like whether this is intentional, whether this is trolling, whether this is just trying to spark outrage. I don't know, but this is gross to me, and I don't like this. And I find this very, very inappropriate. And of course, this video was very quickly removed off of social media due to the outrage, and in my personal opinion, rightfully so. Like, look, you guys know me. I'm not about cancel culture here, but I think making a child the running joke of them not knowing they're innocent, you know, children are innocent, not knowing what that is, and then recording them licking it, I find that to be really wrong. You know, if it was like a young boy or a young teen who's just learning about, you know, the jiggy and learning about sex education and stuff, then that'd be more appropriate, and I don't think there would be any problem. But there's a certain age that I don't think children should be exposed to sexual content to exploit them for views. That's where I stand, that's where I draw my line, but I feel the way that I feel on this issue, and you're not gonna change my mind. You see, the Mcbroom family thought it would be a great idea to inflate views, likes, and subscribers, and Instagram viewers who watch, which I didn't even know that was really a thing on Instagram. I knew it was a thing on Twitch. For those of you who don't know, there was an issue in the past with Twitch where people could bot channels, and then the more viewers you have, it would move you up in the algorithm, and more people could see you, blah, 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 blah. But the thing is that the whole amount of viewers that were watching you actually weren't real, but it's conflated fake numbers that make it look real, thus it works. The point being, they're bots, okay? They're not real people, it's just hundreds and thousands of accounts that make it look like real people, it looks like real engagement, it's inflated. Thus, if you have these inflated numbers, if you have this inflated engagement, you can charge bigger for sponsors. At the same time, the sponsors, it's not really authentic, because the sponsors that are seeing these numbers aren't actually real. And it really makes you wonder how many actually creators do this. But let me tell you a little story time. So back in YouTube, old days of YouTube, 2007, I had my very first YouTube account known as Repzion, which I later deleted back in, I think it was 2008. But regardless, I thought it would be really funny to try out to see if this worked. And I wanted to see how authentic it actually was. And well, it wasn't really that authentic at all. But what I did is I went to ebay.com and I found a little page. It was like $5 for like 200 subscribers. And I paid $5. I gave him my YouTube channel, and then bang, less than 24 hours, I had my very first 200 subscribers. The difference is that they weren't real. They were all like user 256781215678554. The point being is that they were all fake accounts. And I was like, wow, this is quite fascinating. I wonder how many people have actually done this, and they're really, really cheap. Now, of course, YouTube has ways to, fight against this, and they purge a lot of inactive accounts. You can also get in big trouble through YouTube and even have your partnership actually revoked if you're found caught doing this type of stuff. But regardless, there's a company known as Repzion, in which the Mcbroom family was using their service, paying roughly $4,000 to $5,000 a month for their service to inflate all of their numbers across, especially live streaming on Instagram. And then all of a sudden, the Mcbrooms just thought it would be a great idea, the fact that they're paying this company to inflate their numbers, to just stop paying them, which is going to be another thing that happens later on in this video. The Mcbrooms just like to stop paying what they owe people for a service. For being multi-millionaire, you guys really aren't that intelligent when it comes to making good financial decisions. Something that was recently uncovered is by the YouTuber Sloan. He got permission to actually talk to Repzion, which I'm going to put some clips here to give you more context, and they're actually speaking out against the Mcbroom family for not paying what they are owed.
The case with the Ace family is a little unique, account that we did. They didn't really need about, boosting followers, etc. By unique, because they would request certain type of, ratio of likes on certain videos. If the video gets, bad publicity or dislikes, they would want the ratio of likes to go up. If the views didn't, satisfy their needs, we would boost the views. If the comments ratio would be negative, then the positive, we would boost the positive ones, so the ratio would be more positive than negative, etc. And he has an outstanding balance of about $12,000, a little bit less than $12,000, which is not big money for him, I assume, but he's not making any efforts to pay it.
About May, so it's been a minute. Here's the actual invoice where you guys can see that he owes $14,000 so far, and it looks like they cut off their services in July, but still about 3 months right now that he has not paid. And if he wants this to just go away, he should just go pay this money and do what's right.
What just blows my mind is that you're already a gigantic YouTube channel, and you're huge. And a lot of the comments and the engagement that I see is authentic, and you can usually tell it's authentic based upon how the comments are written. Because when you have botted comments, it's like always like one or two words. It's like, wow, great job, wow, this, oh my gosh, cool, what? Like, it's really obvious. But when you're combining botted comments and botted views in a channel that already has a substantial, massive audience, or gets 30,000 comments per video, it gets really hard to differentiate between authentic and real, because nobody's going to spend the time to go through that. I'm just surprised that a channel that large would be paying for a service like ViewBody, especially given the channel size and how many views they already get on a whole. Or maybe their whole channel is botted at this point. I don't really know. There obviously are real fans and a lot of real viewers, but it's really scummy if you're inflating numbers that aren't genuine, and a sponsor comes and sees that and like, oh my gosh, look at all these cool views and engagement that you're having, but the reality is it's actually half of it's not real. You're scamming a company out of potential clients that they think is real, and it's not. I've mentioned how Austin Mcbroom is a scam artist, right? Oh no, he just likes to inflate numbers and viewer engagement for his social media, which is why exactly he came out as of 2021 with this How to Become a Millionaire. You know, that good old get-rich scheme, using that whole parasocial dynamic relationship with your audience members by telling them that they're gonna get rich and you're gonna make this curriculum, this program, the 4 steps to become a multi-millionaire and how to grow your multi-social media platform and become this gigantic influencer, which is something that a lot of people want. You know, Austin, I'm really not sure I want your advice on how to get rich, considering that you can't even pay people properly what you owe them.
With HIBM by Austin Mcbroom, the course that he is making, HIBM stands for How I Became a Millionaire, and he brought it out for people so that he could, you know, kind of teach them what he did. I'd pay for the gold membership because I wanted to have access to the live streams and the community group chat, and it seemed all great to start with, but like once we actually finally got in there, he was late to live streams. The videos content that he would give us were very short, and there wasn't much information that he'd actually give us that was like something that we really didn't know. It was very common knowledge really for anybody aside from somebody that has like literally no idea what YouTube is. Sure, a 10-year-old can do everything that he told us what we would do, or like what we should do, like creating daily content or camera angles or how much we should post, or like little things about business that didn't really talk about business, like nothing that really actually helped us. And then he would schedule like live streams that we could attend, and I mean, like, some people were taking this course very seriously. The worksheets would come in whenever we'd get our videos, and the videos were usually at least a day late, and sometimes, or actually a lot of the times, the live streams that he would host, he never even showed. He no-showed a lot of people, and people are like really relied on this content and purchased it, I believe, is like $50 for a gold membership and $9 for like silver.
Wow. Who would have thunk? Who would have thought? You know, because YouTubers are so trustworthy when it comes to, you know, finances, right? When it comes to selling a product that they create. Which reminds me, didn't Austin Mcbroom create Silly Juice? Yeah, that's a thing. Silly Juice, yeah.
We've had this vision for a couple years now, and we've been working on this for the past 8 months to a year, and we're finally able to share it with all of you. We can't wait. This is gonna be the beginning of something great, okay? No one has ever seen this before, but you guys will be the first. The first social media fruit juice in the world. Cheers.
Silly juice. This quick video, this girl got an order of juice and it literally had one bottle completely drained. Like, you spend over $20 on this stuff, like, and people get multiple packs and it comes drained. Like, girl, I would want my money back ASAP. And I believe the same girl posted this, I'm not 100% sure, but there was mold on their bottles, literally mold on their bottles. I hope Silly Juice like reached out to them and gave them a new package, because I dealt with their customer service and it wasn't great. It really wasn't. But this would, like, I wouldn't even touch this. I'm surprised she doesn't have gloves on. It's like a blue mold. I don't know if that's because of the mold or because of the dyes and the juice, but I'm just not about it. Like, mold literally in the whole container. Like, why would someone even ship this? Like, at this point, like, I feel like the post office should just throw it away and like be like, yo, you need to get a refund. But I get it. They need to have it so that she can post this stuff and get her money back. So that is gross, and I'm blessed mine did not come like that.
Yes, mold for children. Not just that, but also the back of it. 35 grams of sugar is really a lot, especially for a children's drink. Just saying, view botting, inflating viewers, selling how to be a multi-millionaire and absolutely failing, selling a kid's drink, which really goes to show you the type of audience that they have when you're making a product designed specifically for children. You know what? There was another thing that happened with the Mcbroom family. That was that just horrendous boxing fight. For those of you who don't know, YouTube has kind of just exploded with boxing ring and boxing fights. Allegedly, the sponsors involved in this boxing ring between Bryce and Austin Mcbroom, a lot of money was lost, even though they were promised that they would be making a lot of money. Money. But I don't really care about that. What I care about is I came across this channel by the name of a guy named Spencer, and he brings up a wonderful point about how the organization that planned this boxing event, in which Austin Mcbroom won, you know, allegedly $1 million, he actually owned the company.
Here's where the story really starts to take a turn. Austin Mcbroom was the fighter in the main event, boxing against Bryce Hall. Bryce Hall claimed that he was going to make $5 million and a percentage of pay-per-view. Austin agreed with that number and said he'd be making the same. Social Gloves was putting on the event, and all of the fighters were getting paid their fair share given their popularity and demand for the fight. The fight happens, the fighters don't get paid. Who's behind all of this? Who actually ran the event? Here's the trademark registration for Social Gloves. The owner is listed as Ace Hat Collection. That sounds eerily similar to the Ace family, Austin's YouTube channel name. Here is Ace Hat Collection, inks, filing, and look who the director is. It's Austin Mcbroom. Whoever the original internet detective was deserves credit for finding this scoop because it makes you wonder about the entire event. Given that this was newsworthy when it came out, I think it's fair to assume that no one knew Austin was at least part owner of the event. He's the biggest payout earner and owns the event. Sounds like a conflict of interest to me, and the fact that it wasn't disclosed means there may be more to the story.
You guys remember the CSGO gambling? All those big influencers that were like, hey, let's buy, go gamble your money on these digital knife skins and things, all the while not telling the people that they owned the company, that they were promoting the gambling site. Yeah, I'm sorry, but if you are if you have a company and you're not transparent about you owning the company that you're promoting a product through, thus using your fans to funnel money and give money to something that they don't know that you own, that's fraudulent and you're a scam artist in my opinion. Now allegedly after this whole event was even finished, a lot of people have come forward talking about their experience on how they were not paid for the work that they did for this event. And I mean a lot of people came forward on this. Now, for an event that was so large and supposedly brought in so much money, you'd think your company would be able to pay the people who they did work for. But given your past record, Austin Mcbroom, the Ace family, everything they touch seems to go to shit. They really do have a bad reputation of ruining everything they touch. If that's not clear by now, I don't know what is.
Into the last 48 hours, we were under $500,000 of revenues. Okay.
Wow.
So there was a really, I mean, we could have lost millions of dollars in this, right? So it made a nice comeback, right? Pay-per-view does happen mostly at the last second.
Yeah.
I do believe he would have probably been able to pay part or most of this if he didn't block if he didn't block cable and satellite. And he definitely would have been able to if he didn't fight my entire team. Dermot went to his house days before and sat with him and said, you must do this, right? The paid marketing is working. And he shut it off.
Wow. The only other question I have for you too, is there any responsibility on the fighter side? Again, I don't know how normal fights work, but do they normally get some money up front, or should they have been more wary of kind of going into business with Austin Mcbroom or gotten something before the fight?
Every ticket in pay-per-view in the history of pay-per-view, right, that has been sold was sold over cable and satellite. Will that change? Absolutely. Will he be right in 1 year or 5 years? It's very possible. Today, it is still a process. So we fought him like crazy. We battled, but it's his event. He had to make the decision. The second thing he decided was that he wasn't going to do any paid marketing. We had agreed to spend millions and millions of dollars in paid marketing, whether it's McGregor, whether it's Mayweather, whether it's Muhammad Ali. You spend money on television, radio, so on. And he decided and determined that he wasn't going to do any of that. And, you know, we knew there were telltale signs that, you know, there was real risk and the habitual behavior was continuing to grow that way, that if you were pulling out of paid marketing, you're not going to necessarily convert free people, free on YouTube and free on TikTok, and convert them into buyers.
No, we're not done yet. So, lawsuits, right? The Mcbrooms have been involved in a lot of them. I've actually lost count. Back in 2020, there was a website known as Subify. This site is designed for very large content creators to go onto the platform and allow people to fans to engage with those large influencers. All the while, because they're on the platform, the money that they earn in terms of revenue is then given. Part of that is split to Subify, you know, the host, the people who own the website. And apparently the Mcbrooms made over $2 million. And in the same trend that has been this entire video, owes Subify roughly over $400,000 of revenue, which the Mcbrooms did not pay the service that they used to host on their platform. And better, you can't make this up. And then, instead of rather paying what they were supposed to pay the company of the site that they're using, they then left the site completely. They didn't even fulfill their full contract of what they were supposed to do. And then they left and created their own company using the trade secrets of Subify's company for their own new company that they created after not paying the company that they used. Another lawsuit against the Mcbrooms has to do with a luxury car rental company, GC Lux, I think it is. That was in just in July of 2021, not paying for the cars that they rented. Then a dude by the name of James Harden is suing the Mcbrooms for over $2 million because he invested into the Mcbrooms boxing ring, right? The boxing ring the company is owned by Austin, and he got people to invest into his company, thus promising a certain number of profits for this fight, for, you know, participating in the event. Guess what, guys? Can you guess? Can you guess what it is? He wasn't paid. Then Taylor Holder files a lawsuit. Same thing, the boxing event. It lost a lot of money, even though the Mcbrooms promised a very large influx of sales and pay-per-view. It did not deliver. And believe it or not, there's actually a few more lawsuits ongoing. I just don't care to mention them because it serves no relevancy. You get the point. These people are scummy as fuck. They should not be trusted. And if you're a company watching this video, do not give a service to these morons until you are paid first. That's the problem, is because these big companies throw money at people before a product is delivered or before numbers are hit. And clearly the Mcbrooms are taking advantage of their social influence here and getting paid before things are finished, and then they're on the run when things don't deliver of what was contractually obligated to meet certain numbers and views. Don't make promises you can't keep, Austin. I do need to make a correction to this video that a week and a half ago, as of today's February 18th, and this was released, I think, February 14th, 13th, there was a legal payout of roughly $3 million to people who were not previously paid. How exactly this is going to be split, I'm not quite sure, but some people who haven't been paid have been officially paid now, but that doesn't negate the other lawsuits that are still ongoing from other people who haven't been paid. It's just important that I update that there was a settlement here. Sometimes as I'm filming stuff, information comes forward, and this is just one of those times where it kind of changes when I'm filming. And finally, let's jump into the foreclosure incident, because this is really, really big news and has been trending all over social media. You see, the Mcbroom family thought it would be great to buy a massive house, like a mansion and a mansion, and then like combine the mansion into one. However, the person building this mansion also owned the land along with building the house on their land. It is known as a owner-builder. However, if you're ever going to sell your own home on your own land, you have to have home inspections. Home inspections is a really common thing in all of America. And you see, because the Mcbrooms wanted this house so bad right then and there, they got the bright idea to just simply buy the construction company so they could move into the home before it's actually been officially inspected and approved to be livable and safe to move in. I can't tell you how stupid it is to move into a house that hasn't been properly inspected. Electrical issues of the house that can actually hurt you and kill you, cause fire hazards. Every house that is built in every state has a certain certain codes that they have to have a standard by which the house is built. The same goes for welding, the same thing for like construction of bridges, even cars, airplanes, certain qualifications. They require certain requirements in order to have that thing be safe and to be livable, to be operable, to fly, to drive. I'm just gonna edit and condense this clip down from Attorney Tom because he does it in a really easy way to understand what exactly is ongoing here and why this is just not a normal foreclosure because, hey, we didn't pay our house mortgage and our taxes, which is why it was foreclosed. Also, we shot ourselves in the foot because we don't know what the hell we're doing.
The contractor, he was not a licensed contractor and he was using someone else's contracting license and we were unaware of it for 2 years, okay? So he lied to us and said that he's the contractor, but in reality, the real contractors was this contracting company called T&L Constructions. So they're the real contractors to this house and the only licensed contractors to this house.
Hey Ace family, I'm Avi, the owner builder of this property. Unfortunately, this property isn't ready yet and it hasn't passed inspection, and I'm an owner builder, so it needs to pass inspection before I can sell it to you. Avi, we want this house now. So what we're gonna do is we're going to buy your company and become the owner builders. Then we'll finance the deal with a hard money interest only loan so we can pay for the repairs to this house ourselves. After it is complete, we will refinance the hard money interest only loan into a conventional mortgage. Okay, that's fine if that's what y'all want to do, but just know you're taking on the risks as if you are a builder. And again, I'm not saying that conversation actually happened. I'm just saying that that conversation is what is implied by what I'm seeing.
In my opinion, they became members of M Development LLC because under an owner-builder permit, the property is ineligible for resale unless the owner-builder has lived at the property for at least 12 months. One loophole to this situation is a quitclaim deed.
No! Oh no. This is getting way worse for the Mcbrooms. Oh my gosh. Okay. So apparently in California, there's a rule where owner builders need to live in the property for 12 months before they can sell it. So presumably they became owner builders of the M Development Company in order to forego that 12-month period, but then they went one step further. They sold the house to themselves using a quitclaim deed. And I've talked about quitclaim deeds on this channel before. I did a series about essentially what a quitclaim deed means is that the Ace family bought the house as is with no warranties. So even if Avi and his team built a lemon and the house was incredibly defective at no fault of the Ace family, they cannot go back and sue Avi for the damage done to the house. They bought the property as is, which is a big deal. What the hell were they thinking?
Watch your profanity.
It was bad enough that—
It's a lot, guys. The Mcbrooms, the Ace family. This has been a summary of just a few of their controversies combined into one big video for your informational education on this terrible family that is still growing very, very quickly on YouTube. And I will be covering them in the future. His wife is actually involved in quite a few different lawsuits as of right now, and I think I'll be doing a deep dive into her next. I'm gonna see you guys next week for another video, but until then, expand the description box. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, subscribe to my new gaming channel, which I've been starting to post on quite frequently, and until next time, peace. The rep out.
I don't know that.
Yeah, of course you don't know that, Alexa. Go fuck yourself.